I used to believe that I could be the President of the United States, and recently I found that it's probably not going to happen. I shouldn't even think about that anymore. A guy will do it. No woman's going to be President of the United States, right?
I think that men are more favored in this world today. Even though there's been all these movements towards women's rights, there haven't really been a lot of things that have or should have changed since the past.
In modern day, a lot of the options, I would say, have equaled out. Like, women have a lot of options in places that they didn't before, which I think is awesome.
I do not think I have more power than another gender, because we all can do pretty great things.
I wouldn't say I personally have more power than the other gender, no. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say whether or not in general that's the case.
I think that I have different abilities, but I think that in total, both genders have the same amount of abilities. They just can be different.
Men are obviously they're gonna be stronger and like more athletic and all that kind of stuff, and they'll be able to jump higher than we can and all that kind of stuff. But we can do stuff that men can't do. So there's differences. We're not the same. So
they're more tough than girls.
Unfortunately, I do think that there are more restrictions for being a girl than a boy. And like I said, in today's society, there are a lot of restrictions for being a girl that shouldn't really be there, that just are kind of archaic and in the past and need to be changed, and the world needs to move on.
I definitely think there are more restrictions for being a girl than being a boy. Just take a dress code, for example.
I feel like there are a lot more pressures on girls than there are guys, and I feel like those add restrictions to our lives. There's a lot of social media challenges, I guess, that we have to overcome. I feel like girls are specifically targeted by social media much more than guys.
I think there's not as equal of an opportunity to achieve better careers, and there are definitely more career options for men.
For teaching jobs or hygienists, girls are typically in those jobs and you don't see a man in that, versus for a doctor or a principal, you typically think of a man for that, and so I feel like men have a better chance of getting a higher job than women, but women are still able to get a job, they just have to work harder to get it, I guess.
Most women actually usually smarter, so they have better career options.
In my house, both of my parents worked. Actually, my mother had a higher paying job than my father and a higher level of education than my father. So we grew up in a little bit of a different place. So growing up, I always saw them as equals, but in the neighborhood that I grew up in, there was a definite imbalance where men were seen as head of household.
I feel like there are things that every girl has to know that they can do, and they have to hold it true to themselves, but I feel like it can be really hard at times.
I think girls can do anything that I can do because they're not different.
We have to remember that we can do anything that we want to do as long as we can set our mind to it.
I do believe that I can do anything that a boy can do, and better.
Is it the 30 likes you said?
That's what I was saying.
Okay, start over.
Can you take over?
Yeah.